Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever watched an English video and felt excited at the beginning, but after a few seconds you could not understand anything? Have you ever opened an English book and closed it again because it felt too difficult? Or maybe you study English every day, but still feel nervous when listening to native speakers. If this sounds like you, then this video may completely change the way you learn English forever. Today, I am going to show you why reading and listening are the two most powerful skills for English learners. I will share simple methods that helped many beginners understand English naturally without stress and without difficult grammar. And trust me, one small habit in this video can improve your English faster than you imagine. But here is the most important thing. This video is not only about studying English. It is about changing your confidence. Because many learners think they are weak, when actually they are only using the wrong method. So watch this video till the end because every chapter is connected, and the final chapters may completely transform your English learning journey step by step. Chapter 1. When I first started learning English, I thought speaking was the most important thing. Every day, I tried to speak difficult sentences. I memorized grammar rules. I watched videos about fluency. But no matter how hard I tried, I still could not understand English clearly. When someone spoke fast English, I became nervous. When I watched English movies, everything sounded confusing. And maybe right now, you also feel the same. Maybe you study English every day but still feel stuck. Maybe you can understand a few words, but not full sentences. Maybe you forget vocabulary quickly. And maybe sometimes you even think that English is too difficult for you. But today, I want to tell you something very important. The problem is not your intelligence. The problem is your method. Most English learners make one very big mistake. They focus too much on grammar and speaking, but they completely ignore reading and listening practice. They want to speak fluent English immediately, but their brain has not received enough English input yet. And this is exactly why many learners become frustrated and quit. But the good news is this. Once you understand the power of reading and listening, your English learning journey becomes easier, smoother, and more enjoyable. Think about a small child. A child does not learn language by studying grammar books. A child learns language by listening every single day. The child listens to parents, family members, cartoons, and conversations again and again. Slowly, the brain starts understanding words naturally. Then after many months, the child begins speaking. This is the natural way humans learn language. And honestly, English learners should also follow this simple process. I remember one student who sent me a message. He said, "Sir, I have studied English for 3 years, but I still cannot understand movies or conversations." He felt tired and disappointed. Every day he studied grammar for hours, but he never practiced listening properly. So I gave him one simple challenge. I told him to listen to Easy English for only 15 minutes daily and read one small English story every day. That was all. No difficult grammar, no pressure, no stress. At first, he understood almost nothing. Even Easy English sounded fast to him. But after 1 week, something interesting happened. He started recognizing small words and simple expressions. After 1 month, He could understand short conversations. And after some months, he sent me another message. This time, he sounded excited. He said, "Now I can understand simple English videos without subtitles." And honestly, this is the magic of reading and listening practice. You do not need to understand every single word. This is another mistake beginners make. They stop after every sentence and open the dictionary again and again. This destroys confidence and makes learning stressful. Instead, focus on understanding the main idea. Imagine you are reading a simple story about a boy going to school. Maybe you do not know every word, but you can still understand what is happening. And that is enough. Slowly, your brain learns naturally. Let me tell you something surprising. Your brain is always learning patterns. When you listen to English daily, your brain starts remembering pronunciation, sentence structure, and vocabulary automatically. Even if you feel like you are not improving, your brain is quietly learning in the background. That is why consistency is more important than long study hours. Many learners study English for 5 hours one day and then stop for 2 weeks. This method does not work, but listening and reading for 15 or 20 minutes daily can completely change your English over time. Small daily practice is powerful, very powerful. Now imagine this situation. You wake up in the morning and listen to easy English audio while drinking tea. Later, you read one short English paragraph. At night, you watch a simple English video with subtitles. This looks very small, right? But if you continue doing this every day, your English will slowly improve without pressure. One day you suddenly realize something amazing. English sentences no longer sound strange. You begin understanding naturally. And here's another important thing. You should always start with easy English. Many beginners try to watch difficult movies or read advanced books. Then they become frustrated because they understand nothing. But learning becomes faster when the material is simple. Easy English builds confidence. Confidence creates motivation. And motivation helps you continue learning. I also want you to stop being afraid of mistakes. Many learners feel embarrassed when they cannot understand English quickly. But every fluent English speaker was once a beginner too. Nobody becomes fluent in 1 week or 1 month. Fluency is a slow process. It happens step by step. Sometimes progress feels invisible. One day you feel confused. The next day you still feel confused. But after some weeks, you suddenly understand an English sentence clearly. Then after some months, you understand a full conversation. This is how improvement works. Small progress becomes big success. And trust me, reading and listening together can completely transform your English journey. Reading helps you see words clearly. Listening helps you hear pronunciation naturally. Together, they train your brain faster. This is why successful English learners spend so much time listening and reading every day. But there is still one huge mistake many learners make during practice. This mistake destroys confidence and slows improvement badly. And in the next chapter, I will show you exactly what that mistake is and how you can avoid it easily. So keep watching because the next chapter may completely change the way you learn English forever. Chapter 2. Now let me tell you about one of the biggest mistakes English learners make. And honestly, this mistake is very common. Maybe you are also making it right now without realizing it. Many learners think English learning should feel difficult all the time. They believe if learning is not painful, then they are not improving. So they force themselves to study difficult grammar rules, memorize long vocabulary lists, and translate every single word. Day after day, they become tired, bored, and frustrated. Slowly, their confidence disappears. I remember a learner who used to study English for 3 hours every night. He had many grammar books. He wrote hundreds of vocabulary words in notebooks. But when someone spoke simple English, he could not understand clearly. He felt confused and disappointed. One day he asked me, "Why am I studying so much but still not improving?" And the answer was simple. He was studying English like a school subject instead of learning it like a language. Language learning should feel natural. Yes, effort is important. Practice is important. But your brain learns language better when you relax and enjoy the process. Think about your own language. You did not learn it by translating every word. You learned it naturally through listening and understanding messages around you. English works the same way. One huge mistake learners make is stopping after every sentence to open the dictionary. Imagine reading one small paragraph and checking 10 difficult words immediately. What happens? Your focus breaks, your confidence drops, and reading becomes stressful. After some time, you no longer enjoy English. This is why many learners quit. Instead, try this simple method. Read easy English and focus on the main meaning. If you understand 60 or 70%, that is already very good. Your brain will slowly learn the other words naturally through repetition. When you see the same word again and again in different situations, your brain starts remembering it automatically. Let me give you an example. Imagine you watch a simple English story. A boy wakes up, eats breakfast, and goes to school. Maybe you do not understand every sentence, but because you can see the situation, your brain understands the meaning naturally. This is powerful learning. And honestly, this method feels much easier and more enjoyable. Another mistake learners make is trying to use difficult materials too early. They start watching fast movies, advanced podcasts, or hard novels. Then, after 5 minutes, they feel hopeless. But the truth is this: difficult English does not make you smarter. Easy English makes you stronger. Successful English learners always begin with easy content. They read children's stories, graded readers, short dialogues, and beginner English videos. They build confidence step by step. And slowly, their brain becomes ready for harder English naturally. Now here is something very important that many learners ignore. Your brain learns English even when you are not studying seriously. Yes, really. This is called passive learning. For example, imagine listening to easy English audio while walking, cooking, cleaning your room, or relaxing before sleep. Even if you are not focusing 100%, your ears are still hearing English sounds and patterns. Slowly, your brain becomes familiar with English. I knew one learner who changed his daily habits completely. Every morning he listened to simple English conversations while getting ready for work. At night, he watched short English videos with subtitles. He was not studying for many hours, but after some months, his listening improved a lot. Why? Because English became part of his daily life. And honestly, this is another secret. You must create an English environment around yourself. Many learners say, "Nobody speaks English around me." But today, you can create your own English world. Change your phone language to English. Listen to English audio daily. Read simple English posts. Watch beginner English videos. Even 10 or 15 minutes daily can make a big difference. Now let us talk about subtitles because many learners use subtitles in the wrong way. Some learners only read subtitles and completely ignore listening. This does not improve listening skills properly. Here is a better method. First, watch with subtitles and understand the story. Then watch again without subtitles. At first, it feels difficult, but slowly, your ears become stronger. Then listen one more time and try repeating some sentences aloud. This method is simple but very powerful. And please remember this. You do not need perfect English immediately. Many learners become sad because they compare themselves with fluent speakers. They watch someone speaking perfect English and think, "I can never speak like that." But they forget something important. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner too. Every confident speaker once struggled to understand simple sentences. English improvement is slow at first. Sometimes you feel like nothing is changing, but your brain is learning quietly every day. One day, you suddenly understand a sentence clearly. Then you understand a full conversation. Then you understand a YouTube video without subtitles. These small moments are magical because they show your progress. I still remember the first time I understood a full English conversation naturally. It felt unbelievable. Before that moment, English sounded like noise to me. But after months of reading and listening practice, my brain slowly changed. And this is exactly what will happen to you if you continue practicing daily. There is one more mistake learners make. They practice too much one day and then stop for many days. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel lazy. This is normal. But successful learners continue practicing even when they do not feel motivated. Small daily practice is more powerful than long study sessions once a week. So from today, stop making English difficult for yourself. Stop translating every word. Stop trying to become fluent overnight. Relax. Enjoy the process. Listen more. Read more. And trust your brain. Your English will improve step by step. But now comes the most interesting part. Many learners say, "I understand slow English, but native speakers talk too fast." And honestly, this problem frustrates millions of learners around the world. But in the next chapter, I will show you why English only sounds fast and how you can train your ears to understand spoken English naturally. And trust me, once you learn this method, your listening skills will never be the same again. Chapter 3. Now let us talk about one of the biggest problems English learners face: fast English. Almost every learner says the same thing. When I read English, I understand a little. But when native speakers talk, I understand nothing. And honestly, this problem can feel very frustrating. Sometimes learners watch an English video and feel confident at the beginning. But the moment native speakers start talking quickly, everything becomes blurry and confusing. It feels like the words are disappearing. Maybe you also feel this way right now. Maybe you think native speakers talk too fast. But today, I want to tell you something surprising. English is not always fast. Your ears simply need more training. Think about this carefully. When you hear your own language, your brain understands words immediately. You do not translate. You do not stop and think about grammar. Your brain recognizes sounds naturally because it has listened to the language for many years. But with English, your brain is still learning the sounds, rhythm, and pronunciation. This is why English feels fast. I remember when I first started listening to English conversations. Honestly, it sounded impossible. Native speakers joined words together. Some words sounded completely different from what I learned in books. I became frustrated many times. Sometimes I even thought, maybe I can never understand spoken English. But slowly I realized something very important. Listening is a skill. And like every skill, it becomes stronger with daily practice. One learner sent me a message saying, "I can understand English subtitles, but without subtitles I feel lost." This is very common. Reading and listening are different skills. Your eyes may recognize English words, but your ears still need training. And this is why listening practice is extremely important. Now let me share one powerful method that changed everything for many English learners. This method is called repetition. Most learners make a huge mistake. They listen to one audio one time and immediately move to another audio. This is not effective. Instead, listen to the same audio many times. The first time, maybe you understand only 10%. The second time, you recognize more words. The third time, the sentences become clearer. And after listening many times, something magical happens. Your brain starts predicting sounds and understanding naturally. Imagine listening to a simple conversation between two friends. At first, everything feels difficult. But after repeating it again and again, suddenly you hear small details clearly. You recognize pronunciation. You understand connected speech. And your confidence slowly grows. I still remember one sentence that changed my confidence forever. I was listening to a short English conversation repeatedly. For many days, one sentence sounded impossible to understand. But one evening, while listening again, I suddenly understood every word clearly. That small moment felt amazing. It felt like my brain finally opened a new door. And honestly, every English learner experiences moments like this. Now let me tell you another secret that many successful learners use: shadowing. This method is simple but very powerful. Here is how it works. You listen to one short English sentence and immediately repeat it aloud. You try to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. At first, this feels difficult. Your tongue feels slow. Your pronunciation feels strange. But slowly, your speaking and listening improve together. Why? Because your brain is training your ears and mouth at the same time. For example, imagine listening to a sentence like, "I am going to the market today." Pause the audio and repeat the sentence immediately. Listen again. Repeat again. Do not worry about perfection. The goal is practice. And trust me, after some weeks, your pronunciation becomes smoother and your listening becomes stronger. Another important thing is choosing the right listening level. Many beginners destroy their confidence by listening to advanced English too early. If you are a beginner, start with slow and easy English. Children's stories, beginner podcasts, easy conversations, and simple YouTube videos are perfect. Then slowly move to intermediate content. Step by step, your ears become stronger. Learning English is like going to the gym. You do not lift the heaviest weight on your first day. You train slowly and become stronger over time. And honestly, listening practice should not feel boring. There are many fun ways to improve listening skills. You can listen to music, cartoons, podcasts, interviews, stories, and YouTube videos. The important thing is consistency. Even 15 or 20 minutes daily can create huge improvement after some months. One learner told me he started listening to English while traveling to work every morning. At first, he understood almost nothing, but he continued daily. After 3 months, he suddenly realized he could understand simple conversations naturally. This is how improvement happens. Small daily practice creates big results. Another thing you must understand is that confusion is normal. Sometimes learners panic because they do not understand everything immediately. But even advanced learners sometimes miss words. You do not need 100% understanding. Focus on understanding the main message first. Imagine watching a short story video. Maybe you miss some small words, but you still understand the story. That means your listening is improving. Slowly, the missing pieces become clearer over time. And here is something very important. Do not only listen with your ears, listen with your brain. Try to imagine the situation. Imagine the people speaking. Imagine the story. This helps your brain connect meaning with English sounds naturally. Now let me tell you about another emotional moment many learners experience. One day, after months of listening practice, you suddenly understand an English sentence without translating it into your own language. This moment feels incredible because it means your brain is starting to think in English naturally. And trust me, this moment changes your confidence completely. But remember this carefully. Listening alone is not enough. Yes, listening trains your ears. But there is another powerful skill that helps you remember vocabulary, understand grammar naturally, and improve fluency faster. That skill is reading. And honestly, when reading and listening work together, your English improves much faster than before. In the next chapter, I will show you how reading simple English daily can completely transform your vocabulary, confidence, and understanding. I will also share a powerful reading method that helps learners remember English words naturally without memorizing huge vocabulary lists. So keep watching because the next chapter may completely change the way you learn English forever. Chapter 4. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful habits for English learners: reading. Honestly, many beginners ignore reading because they think it is boring or difficult. Some learners only focus on speaking practice. Others spend all their time watching videos. But reading is one of the biggest secrets behind English improvement. Reading slowly changes your brain. It improves vocabulary, grammar, sentence structure, spelling, confidence, and even speaking ability. And the best part is this: you do not need difficult books to become better at English. I remember one learner who used to say, "I hate reading English because I understand nothing." Every time he opened a book, he became frustrated after 2 or 3 pages. He checked the dictionary every minute. Slowly, he lost confidence completely. Then one day, I gave him a very small children's story. The sentences were simple, the vocabulary was easy, and something surprising happened. For the first time, he actually enjoyed reading English. At first, he read only one paragraph daily. Just one paragraph. That was all. But after some weeks, he noticed something amazing. Simple English sentences no longer looked strange. He started recognizing words naturally. Then, after some months, he could read short stories without translating every line. This is the magic of simple reading practice. Many learners make a huge mistake. They try to read difficult novels or advanced articles too early. Then they feel stupid because they understand very little. But let me tell you something important. Easy English is not bad English. Easy English is smart English for beginners. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You do not begin with dangerous roads. First, you practice slowly in a safe place. English works the same way. You start with simple material and slowly move to harder content. This method builds confidence naturally. And honestly, confidence is extremely important in language learning. When learners understand easy English successfully, they feel motivated to continue. Motivation creates consistency, and consistency creates fluency. Now let me share another important secret. Stop trying to understand every single word immediately. This habit destroys reading speed and confidence. Instead, focus on understanding the general meaning. Your brain is smarter than you think. Imagine reading a simple story. A girl wakes up early, eats breakfast, and goes to school because she has an important exam. Maybe there are 2 or 3 words you do not know. But because you understand the situation, your brain can guess the meaning naturally. This is exactly how language learning becomes powerful. And here is something very interesting. When you read English regularly, your brain starts learning grammar automatically. Yes, automatically. Many learners think grammar only comes from grammar books. But actually, reading teaches grammar naturally. For example, if you read the sentence, "She goes to school every day," many times, your brain slowly learns the structure naturally. You begin understanding how English sentences work without memorizing complicated grammar rules. This is why many fluent speakers cannot explain grammar rules perfectly, but they still speak correctly. Their brain learned through exposure. I still remember when I realized this for the first time. I was reading simple English stories daily. At first, I focused only on understanding the meaning, but after some months, I noticed something surprising. My sentence structure started improving naturally. I began using better English expressions without memorizing grammar rules. And honestly, this moment changed the way I learned English forever. Now let us talk about vocabulary because many learners struggle with this problem. They memorize long vocabulary lists but forget the words quickly. Why does this happen? Because isolated words are difficult to remember. But words become memorable when you see them inside stories and sentences. Imagine learning the word hungry. If you only memorize the translation, you may forget it tomorrow. But if you read a sentence like, "The boy was hungry after playing football," your brain connects the word with a real situation. This makes memory much stronger. That is why reading is one of the best ways to build vocabulary naturally. And honestly, you do not need thousands of difficult words at the beginning. You only need useful daily words and expressions. One helpful method is keeping a small vocabulary notebook. But do not write hundreds of random words. Instead, write useful phrases you can use in real life. For example, how was your day? I am feeling tired. What are you doing? I do not understand. These expressions are practical and easy to remember. Another powerful habit is reading aloud. Many learners read silently only. But when you read aloud, something amazing happens. Your pronunciation improves. Your speaking rhythm improves. Your confidence improves. And your ears also become stronger because you hear your own English. At first, reading aloud may feel strange or embarrassing. Maybe your pronunciation feels weak. Maybe you make mistakes. But remember this: every fluent speaker once sounded like a beginner too. Improvement comes through practice, not perfection. I knew one learner who started reading one page aloud every night before sleeping. At first, his pronunciation was slow and unclear. But after some months, his speaking confidence improved a lot. Why? Because reading aloud trained his mouth and ears together. And honestly, this is why simple daily habits are more powerful than extreme study sessions. You do not need to study English for 10 hours daily. You only need consistent practice. Imagine reading one easy English story every day for 6 months. Imagine learning 5 useful expressions every week. Imagine practicing reading aloud daily. These small habits may look simple, but over time they create huge improvement. There is also another emotional moment every English learner experiences. One day while reading, you suddenly realize you understood a full paragraph without translation. Then later, you understand a whole story naturally. This moment feels incredible because it shows your brain is changing slowly. I still remember the first time I finished a simple English story without using a dictionary again and again. Honestly, I felt proud and excited. It was not a difficult book, but it gave me confidence. And confidence is one of the most powerful things in language learning. So please, Do not make English difficult for yourself. Read simple English. Enjoy the process. Trust small progress. Your vocabulary, grammar, and confidence will grow naturally step by step. But now comes the most powerful part of all. What happens when reading and listening work together at the same time? Honestly, this combination can completely transform your English faster than you imagine. In the next chapter, I will show you a powerful method that combines reading and listening together to improve pronunciation, vocabulary, speaking, grammar, and fluency at the same time. And trust me, once you start using this method daily, your English learning journey will never feel the same again. Chapter 5. Now we are finally going to talk about one of the most powerful methods for English learners. Honestly, this method changed the way many people learn English. And once you start using it daily, your confidence can grow much faster. The method is simple: reading and listening together. Most learners practice reading separately and listening separately. But when you combine both skills at the same time, something amazing happens inside your brain. Your eyes see the words while your ears hear the pronunciation. Slowly, your brain starts connecting spelling, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and meaning together naturally. This is why reading and listening together is so powerful. I remember one learner who struggled badly with listening. Every time he watched English videos without subtitles, he felt lost. He could read English a little, but listening felt impossible. Then he started using this combined method every day. And honestly, after some months, his English changed completely. At first, he listened to very short English stories. The audio was slow and simple. First, he listened without reading anything. He understood only a few words. Then he opened the text and read the story slowly. Suddenly, the sentences became much clearer. After that, he listened again while reading the text at the same time. And this was the moment everything started changing. The words no longer sounded random. His brain started connecting sounds with written English naturally. Then, after repeating the same story many times, he could understand the audio even without reading the text. And honestly, this is exactly how your listening becomes stronger. Let me show you the simple process step by step because this method is very important. First, choose easy English content. This is extremely important. Do not choose difficult movies or advanced podcasts at the beginning. Start with simple conversations, graded readers, beginner stories, or slow English videos. Now here comes the first step. Listen to the audio once without reading the text. Do not panic if you understand very little. This is normal. Just focus on the main idea. Then move to the second step. Read the text slowly and carefully. Try to understand the story or conversation. Notice the words and sentence structure. Now comes the powerful part. Listen again while reading the text at the same time. Suddenly, your brain starts recognizing pronunciation more clearly. Words that sounded confusing before now become understandable. Then comes the final step. Pause after some sentences and repeat them aloud. Copy the pronunciation and rhythm. This improves listening, speaking, and confidence together. Honestly, This method feels almost magical after some weeks of practice. Many learners suddenly realize they can understand English much more easily than before. I still remember when I first tried this method seriously. Before that, spoken English sounded too fast to me. But when I started reading and listening together daily, my ears slowly became stronger. One day, while watching a simple English video, I suddenly realized I understood full sentences naturally without translating them. That moment felt incredible. And trust me, every learner experiences moments like this. At first, progress feels slow, but then suddenly your brain starts understanding English more naturally than before. Another beautiful thing about this method is that it improves many skills together at the same time. Listening improves because your ears hear English daily. Reading improves because your eyes see sentence patterns again and again. Vocabulary improves because you see words inside real situations. Pronunciation improves because you repeat sentences aloud. And grammar improves naturally because your brain notices English structures repeatedly. This is why successful English learners spend so much time with reading and listening practice together. They understand that language learning is not only about memorizing rules. It is about training the brain through exposure. And honestly, you do not need expensive courses or difficult materials for this. Today, there are many free resources everywhere. You can use YouTube videos with subtitles. You can listen to beginner podcasts. You can read graded readers with audio. You can even use simple English stories online. One learner told me he practiced this method every night before sleeping. He listened to one short story while reading the text. Then he repeated some sentences aloud. At first, his pronunciation felt weak and uncomfortable. But after 3 months, he noticed something amazing. His speaking became smoother, and his listening became much faster. And here is something very important. You do not need long study sessions. Many learners believe improvement only comes from studying for many hours. But honestly, small daily practice is much more powerful. Imagine spending 20 minutes daily reading and listening together. After 1 month, your brain becomes more familiar with English sounds. After 3 months, you begin understanding more conversations naturally. After 1 year, your confidence becomes completely different. This is how fluency grows. Slowly, quietly, step by step. And please remember this carefully. Do not compare your progress with other learners. Some people improve faster, some improve slower. Every learner has a different journey. The important thing is consistency. Sometimes learners become discouraged because they still make mistakes. But mistakes are normal. Every mistake teaches your brain something new. Even fluent speakers make mistakes sometimes. So never feel ashamed of being a beginner. I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself understanding English videos without subtitles. Imagine reading English stories comfortably. Imagine speaking with confidence without fear. Right now, maybe this feels far away. But honestly, it becomes possible through daily practice. I knew one learner who almost quit English completely. He felt tired and hopeless because progress seemed too slow. But instead of giving up, he continued reading and listening daily for a few months. Then one day he watched an English interview and understood most of it naturally. That moment changed his confidence forever. And honestly, this is why consistency matters more than motivation. Some days you feel excited to study English. Some days you feel lazy or frustrated. This is normal. But successful learners continue practicing even on difficult days. The beautiful thing about reading and listening together is that learning slowly becomes enjoyable. English no longer feels like a painful school subject. It becomes part of your life. You begin understanding songs, videos, conversations, and stories naturally. And this feeling is very rewarding. But now comes the final and most emotional part of this journey. Many learners start English with excitement but quit after some weeks because they think they are not improving. So in the next chapter, I will show you how to stay motivated, build powerful habits, and continue improving even when learning feels difficult. And trust me, this final chapter may completely change the way you see your English journey forever. Chapter 6. Now we have reached the final chapter of this journey. And honestly, this may be the most important chapter of all. Because many people start learning English with excitement, but after some weeks or months, they slowly give up. At first, they feel motivated. They watch English videos every day. They read stories. They practice listening. But then something happens. Progress starts feeling slow. They still make mistakes. They still forget words. And slowly, they begin thinking, maybe English is not for me. If you have ever felt this way, I want you to listen carefully. Slow progress does not mean failure. In fact, slow progress is completely normal in language learning. English is not something you learn in 1 week or 1 month. It is a journey. And every small step matters more than you think. I remember one learner who was very excited in the beginning. He practiced every single day for 2 weeks. But after 1 month, he became disappointed because he was not fluent yet. He said, "I am studying daily, but my English is still not perfect." And honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons learners quit. They expect huge results too quickly. But think about this carefully. Imagine planting a small tree. You water it every day, but after 1 week the tree still looks small. Does that mean nothing is happening? No. The roots are growing quietly under the ground. English learning works the same way. Even when you cannot see big improvement immediately, your brain is still changing little by little every day. Sometimes learners only focus on what they cannot do. They say, "I still cannot understand fast English. I still make grammar mistakes. I still feel nervous speaking." But they forget to notice their progress. Maybe 1 month ago, they understood almost nothing. But now they understand simple sentences. Maybe before, English sounded impossible. But now some words feel familiar. These small improvements are very important. And honestly, one of the most powerful things you can do is enjoy the process instead of chasing perfection. Many learners make English stressful. They study with fear and pressure every day. But language learning becomes much easier when you relax and enjoy small moments of progress. I still remember the first time I understood a full English video without subtitles. It was not a difficult video, but that moment felt amazing because I realized my daily practice was finally working. Then later, I understood movies more easily. Then conversations became clearer. Step by step, everything improved naturally. This is why daily habits are more important than motivation. Motivation changes all the time. Some days you feel excited. Other days you feel tired or lazy. This is normal. But habits continue even when motivation disappears. Let me show you something very simple. Imagine waking up every morning and listening to easy English for 10 minutes. Then during the day, you read one short English paragraph. At night, you watch one English video with subtitles. These habits look small, but after 6 months, your English can improve in ways you never expected. One learner told me he was very busy with work and family responsibilities. He thought he had no time for English. But instead of quitting, he created a simple routine. Every morning, he listened to English audio while getting ready. During lunch break, he read one short English article. Before sleeping, he watched a simple English video. Slowly, his confidence started growing. After 1 year, he could understand conversations much more naturally. And honestly, this is another secret. You do not need perfect conditions to improve your English. You only need consistency. Even small practice every day is powerful. Now let us talk about fear because fear stops many learners from improving. Some learners are afraid of making mistakes. Others feel embarrassed when speaking English. They think people will laugh at them, so they stay silent. But remember this carefully. Mistakes are proof that you are learning. Every fluent English speaker once made mistakes too. Nobody speaks perfectly from the beginning. Fluency grows through practice, repetition, and courage. I knew one learner who was terrified of speaking English. Even simple sentences made him nervous. But every day he practiced reading aloud and repeating simple conversations. Slowly his confidence improved. Then one day, he spoke English with someone for 5 minutes without fear. That small conversation changed everything for him. And honestly, confidence grows from action, not from waiting. Many learners wait to become perfect before speaking English. But perfection never comes first. Practice comes first. Confidence comes later. Another important thing is patience. Sometimes learners become frustrated because they compare themselves with fluent speakers online. But comparison destroys motivation. You do not know how many years those people practiced. Focus on your own journey. Your only goal should be becoming a little better than yesterday. And let me tell you something very important. English can change your life in many ways. It can help you communicate with people around the world. It can open new opportunities for education, work, travel, and knowledge. It can give you confidence. It can help you understand books, movies, interviews, and ideas from different countries. But the most beautiful thing is this. English learning teaches patience and discipline. Every day you continue practicing, you become stronger mentally. You prove to yourself that small daily effort can create big change over time. I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from now. Imagine understanding English videos more easily. Imagine reading English stories confidently. Imagine speaking without fear. Right now, maybe this feels difficult, but if you continue reading, listening, and practicing daily, this future can become real. And honestly, the biggest difference between successful learners and unsuccessful learners is not intelligence. It is consistency. Successful learners continue even when progress feels slow. They trust the process. So from today, stop doubting yourself. Stop saying, "My English is weak." Stop thinking you are too late to improve. Your journey is still continuing. Every English sentence you read matters. Every minute of listening matters. Every mistake matters, because every mistake teaches your brain something new. And remember this forever. Fluency is not magic. Fluency is the result of small daily habits repeated again and again. One day, you will look back and realize how far you have come. So keep reading, keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, never give up on yourself. Because your English journey is only beginning, and your future self will thank you for continuing today.